So what's good everyone, it's Monday and let us look at the 5 best stocks that we can buy this week, and it can give us some exponential great returns, or they can also be like our next multi-baggers. So first in my list is Tamil Nadu Mercantile Bank Limited, right? It has the ticker TMB. So what I find interesting about this stock is it's forming a VCP pattern, that's volatility contraction pattern. What? So what happens in VCP is the volatility, it contracts with coming time, right? So the stock over here was highly volatile. It was fighting this resistance at 514 rupees, right? After that it got rejected, but not with such a strong price action. So it didn't go further below to the previous levels or below it just got rejected to a certain extent only. And after that, in the next cycle, the rejection decreased even further. So this is a strong bullish pattern, and on top of that, TMB is an IPO stock, right? It's just listed on 15 September 2022. IPO stocks are my favorite picks for decent multi-bagger returns. For example, I wrote a complete detailed thread about IPO stocks. It's about how to make the most out of an IPO. I will link this thread in the description box below. You can check this out. It explains very well how IPO basis work. So the technicals are great for TMB. When can you take the entry? You can take the entry after it closes above this green line with volume. So volume is the key over here. Right now there is a spike in volume, but it should have a decent enough, like this type of spikes. That's the best time to enter that particular stock. So once it closes above 514.80 or about 5115 rupees, then it's the a decent time to take entry on this stock. That is when it can give like a sustainable rally and it won't fake out. Damn! So let's have a look at fundamentals of Tamil Nadu Bank as well. So it has an operating revenue of 8,000 crores. And annual revenue growth of 9%, which is quite okay in my opinion, but the margin, pre-tax profit margin of 18%, that's decent, that's really good. And also return on equity is also 15%, that can also be considered great. So EPS is at 95. So what is EPS? Earning per share rating indicates greatly yearly and recent period earning growth. So the earning growth of recent period is excellent. It is at 95. So Indian stocks, the Market Smith, the software which I use rates Indian stock from 1 to 99 scale, and this one scores 95, which is considered quite decent. Also price strength is another key metric that I check out. So price strength over here is poor, but that's because the stock has recently been listed. It's an IPO stock. So what is a price strength? Price strength measures that how this stock performs as compared to, as opposed to overall market index. It is quite necessary. Like most of us retail investors buy the stocks on dip, but the stock that falls down most probably keeps on continuing falling down. Yes Bank is one of the example on how you should not, I do not prefer DCA or rupee cost averaging in the stocks. I prefer to buy high and sell higher. So that's why this stock, it's near its all-time high. Most of the stocks that I will share, it will be priced near the all-time high itself. Because how does a stock move, right? So HDFC Bank, at a point of time, it must be at 1000 rupees. So how does this stock made an all-time high, right? Let's see. So over here, it made an all-time high at 792 rupees, right? If we didn't bought the stock over here thinking that it's priced too high, you would have missed the rally. You would have obviously missed the rally. The stock moves high by making new all-time high. Here it was another new all-time high. Here it was another new all-time high. Similarly, here it was another new all-time high. So that's an example why I particularly prefer stocks that are near its all-time highs. So this stock, if it breaks out from this base, can go making new all-time high, and it can particularly be turned out to be your next multi-bagger investment, right? And price trend is one of the key metrics. So when entire market is falling, and if your particular stocks holds back or doesn't fall that much, it's high probability that it will give superior price returns. Alright, so this is it from Tamil Nadu Mercantile Bank. Now let me move towards our next stock, that is IRFC. First let us understand from the technical standpoint, and then I will move towards the fundamentals. So in the weekly chart, I entered over here when it formed an inverse head and shoulder, right? Left shoulder, head and right shoulder. One of my favorite patterns, inverse head and shoulders, it gives tremendous returns. For example, let me show you. I shared these Venus pipes on my Twitter. When it formed an inverse head and shoulder over here, it formed in daily chart. See, yeah, these formed an inverse head and shoulder, and it's a great opportunity. So after the breakout, the stock rallied over 68%, right? So right now it seems like the stock has started its downtrend, so it's not advisable to buy over here. In fact, I also got out of that stock. Let me show you. I shared this one on September 10th when it just broke out, right? After that, on November 14, I shared that it's the time to get out from Venus pipes and tube, because it formed a rough double top and it also closed below 21-day moving average. So yeah, back to our stock, that's Indian Railway Finance Corporation. So for some reason I can't see the top part of this, but if you check from here, first they check out annual revenue growth. So annual revenue growth of 30% is great. So 30% is quite a decent annual revenue growth, and return on equity is also 14%. So fundamentally also this stock seems good. And for all those who are looking for government stocks, the stocks backed by government, over here you can see that over 86% of the stock is owned by promoters. Who is the promoters? That's President of India, right? So it's a government stock, and Indian railway stocks are also giving quite a decent returns. So it also has a strong fundamental standpoints. So technically it broke out from inverse head and shoulder, and I took the entry, and after that it has rallied over 20%. But if we zoom out and if we see on weekly chart, it was consolidating. It has made a new all-time high over here. It was consolidating from March to here, and it broke out with decent volume. See the spike in volume which I generally talk about. We checked the spike in volume in daily charts. So yeah, over here also when it broke out, see, you can see the spike in volume, right? If you check over here at the top of my screen, the 50 days average volume was 5.7 million, and the volume on that particular day was 34 million, which is almost like 6 to 7 times the average 50-day volume. We enter the stock when it gives at least twice the average volume, so that can be considered a decent breakout. So right now also it has broken out from this green line, right, with huge spikes in volume. It is almost 10 times, as you can see. So if you want to take the risk, you can buy over here. But if you want a decent risk to return average ratio, you can wait for it to fall below to this 26.5 price point, because it was a great resistance over year and year. So it will provide a great support, and then you can consider entering it. Also, the 10 days exponential moving average EMA will also fall in this particular range. So if you want to take entry into IRFC, you can wait for it to hit around 26.40. Fundamentals of the IRFC I briefly covered just now. It has a great outstanding revenue growth as well as return on equity. The price trend, yeah. So the price trend is 73 over here, which is a good indication that this stock was withholding when every other stocks were falling down. This stock was holding its strength and it wasn't falling down. So such stocks are the one that can give us great and decent type of rallies. Moving on, next in our list is Healthcare Global with the ticker HCG. So as you can see, it has formed a cup and handle pattern in the daily time frame. As well as in weekly over here, it formed cup and handle. After that, it did try to break out, but it wasn't able to sustain it. And here on 17th of November, last Thursday, it broke out with quite a decent volume, nearly 7 to 8 times of the 50 days average volume, right? Is it the best time to enter the stock? Yes, it's around 3.5% up, so it's not much of a risk if we enter right now also. But then if you want to wait for the stock to test its support, you can wait till 303 price point. but right now also it's no harm in entering this stock, right? This is not an IPO stock like most of I like to own IPO stock, but it's not fairly old stock. It has been listed in 2016 around, right? And it's near the resistance of 2018. So particular resistance, if it gets caught, it does not have that much of an impact in the price range. And also healthcare and hospital stocks are doing decent, so you can consider healthcare global to buy this week. So let us have a look at fundamental. It has an operating revenue of 1550 crore, as well as annual revenue growth is outstanding. It's of 37%. Pre-tax margin aren't that good, it's just 6%, and ROE is also not that good. So EPS is also fair as per Market Smith, and price trend is also quite decent, like 69. Above 50 anything is great in my opinion. So the next in our list is ALICON. ALICON is also a fairly old stock. It was listed on 2011, but right now it is forming one of my favorite base pattern on weekly time frame, that is inverse head and shoulder. It has been consolidating and forming this pattern since over a year right now. If you can check it, it's from August 2011. It has formed quite a great base of inverse head and shoulder, and when we check on daily chart, see the spike in volume when it broke out. It's like 32,000 is 50 days average volume, but when it broke out, the volume was 257k, right? So it's quite a decent price. So this type of breakout, we always seek this type of breakout that has quite a decent spike in volume when it breaks out. It is up 13% from its breakout point. Fairly risky to enter right now, but what you can do is to wait for it to be near this 984 or even 1000 rupees price range, right? Here the risk is high. So if the breakout doesn't work, or if the stock closes below it, we generally sell our quite a bit of our holding, right? So the risk to lose is high. As a great investor, we need to consider risk to reward ratio very well. So right now it's risky, but that doesn't mean that the breakout will fail. It gave breakout with quite a decent volume, so it's up to you whether if you want to buy it right now or wait for it to come near this 985 price point, right? So let us have a look at fundamentals. It is an operating revenue of 1320 crore. Once again, annual revenue growth is outstanding. It's of 27%. Pre-tax margin is not that great. Surely it needs improvement, as well as ROE is also not that good. But EPS trend is good, and the best thing is price trend is at 81, which is like considered fairly good. You can check from this chart, it's almost near its all-time high, right? So the price trend, it's one of the major indicator that you can consider to enter a particular stock. So ALICON, it has a decent, if I won't say excellent fundamental, it has decent fundamentals, but on technically it has given a beautiful breakout. So the next in our list is Krishna Institute of Medical Science. Once again, an hospital stock. So it formed quite a decent cup and handle pattern in weekly time frame. It was forming since beginning of this year from January. And when it broke out on daily time frame, it broke out with quite a decent volume. It's almost 3 to 4 times the average volume, right? So it broke out, and right now it's once again testing the highs or the support when it broke out, right? So you might need to wait up till 3:30 when the market finally closes if this stock bounces from this support. So here the risk ain't much, right? If tomorrow this closes below and continues the downfall, particularly if this closes below this white line, which is the simple moving average of 20 days, then we can consider to exit, because the breakout failed. Like it's obvious, like every breakout doesn't work. Investing is mostly the game of probability. So if this pattern doesn't work, or if this fakes out, we immediately get out from that particular stock. We do not fall in love with any particular stock like buy and hold type of things. We don't do that here.
Yes, Black Panther.
Consider it's in the support zone right now. Let's see if this sustains the rally or if it goes further down over here. So fundamentally, once again the upper section is not visible for some reason, I don't know. So revenue, annual revenue growth of 27% is great. ROE of 23%, they say it's exceptional. And there is a reasonable debt to equity of 10%, which signals a healthy balance sheet. The EPS, earning per stock, it's quite, that indicates obviously a great yearly and recent period earning growth. So earning wise, this stock is doing good. Price strength, the relative price strength of 72 is also quite a decent in my opinion. So yeah, that's it. This stock also seems to have an healthy fundamentals, and also this seems to be another like IPO based. It's not much of an old stock, it's just a 1 year stock. So yeah, obviously this stock has high probability to function well in the coming time. So yeah, after buying these stocks, I will definitely share on my Telegram as well as on Twitter as to when we can exit these particular stocks. So if you don't follow me on my Telegram, you can definitely check out to follow me on my Telegram as well as follow me on Twitter. I will put the links to my Twitter and Telegram in the description box below. So that's it for today, guys. Have an amazing week, and I hope you find many such great stocks that can give you exceptional return. So that's it.